segment time. 50 million cases, ladies and gentlemen. We did it. Woo! 1.25 million deaths. And yeah, it's about that.
To all those non-mask wearing Karens, here's to you.
Here's to everyone who has contributed to these 50 million cases. Oh, you're out of crackers now. It's gonna clink. Clink!
Beautiful.
What a great time. Alright, let's roll down to the U.S.'s active cases. Holy!
How big? Oh, is that 114,000?
Yeah!
Oh my god.
Okay, the U.S.
India was like almost
They were
passing.
gonna catch us, and we just went, no. We don't do that here. We're gone. The U.S., because, Buck can't even see it. 10.172 million cases.
Oh my god.
India is at 8.5 million, and then Brazil, the next closest, at 5.5, and then it drops after that.
A quarter of our population has COVID.
What? Quarter? What you talking about, Wills?
I can't do math.
Like, quarter? We have 100? What?
No, because the population's on the far right.
Yeah, it's 331 million. You mean like a...
Oh, wait, shoot. I can't do math.
It's like we hit like 0.1% of the population, whatever.
10 million. Oh my god.
All right. On the topic of that.
Yes. So
when they are, this is where I'm not sure how districts are going to do it, because we got an email the other day from school districts. I believe they're talking Omaha all the way over to possibly Grand Island. All the big school districts right now, they're getting together with the health departments to classify what's the safest course of action.
yeah, because Lincoln went red.
The safest place for students to be right now is in the school building.
Yeah.
That's the funny part.
That's
because
the same thing with the
UNL.
university.
Because
there's 0 cases coming from the classroom. It's all from
it's
frat
all from them
parties
going
or,
like, let's go get drunk, and then they go.
It's all from the
themselves.
party. It's all from the parties. None of it's coming from. I don't think any of it's coming from the dorms.
No.
And if it is coming from the dorms, a person got it from going to a party.
So what?
But none of it's coming from a class.
So one of my roommate's girlfriend's roommate, sounds funny. She was over the other day, and I saw her, and I was like, get her out of here. And I didn't say it, but I was not nice to her. I was not like, oh, hi. No, I was like, get her out of here. Because I knew for a fact, she goes and parties. She does not care about this corona thing. I'm like, she is a ticking time bomb of corona. Get her out of here.
My dad and my mom, okay, so my mom's sister, their son, and then the dad, they have COVID.
That's what I heard. That's what she was talking about on the phone.
They have COVID. And my mom thinks it's perfectly okay for us to have a Thanksgiving in person. I'm like, if you're going to do that, I'm not going to go.
You want to just spend the week at my house?
Your house isn't even better. I'd rather stay home here.
No, they're all going to be gone.
Well, I know it's safe. But, like, my dad and I, like, it's 2 against 1. We're not going to let her have an in-person Thanksgiving. Because, like, one...
With people that have corona.
Even though they may be asymptomatic or they are cured, they still have COVID in them. That could still be transmitted.
Yeah.
And that's the issue. It's the fact that it could still be transmitted. Because they have, like, a slight cold. They don't have, like, the hardcore corona. It's, like a cold.
My grandma caught a cold. And I was like, Grandma, if you're having problems breathing, you need to tell my dad and I so we can get you to the hospital.
And tested, yeah.
Well, not tested, just get her to the hospital and get her on a ventilator. If she can't breathe, obviously that's corona.
Like, I've been coughing. Well, I've been coughing ever since pneumonia, but...
You were fine up until today.
Oh, no, I've always been coughing.
I mean, you've sounded fine up until today.
Yeah. I have, like, no wheezing or, like, shortness of breath, so, like, there's no COVID. It's just, like, that slight cold I always get in the winter.
But is it a dry cough or a wet cough?
Oh, it's a wet cough.
Oh, okay. I'd say everybody's like, and then it was like, oh, I was coughing. I'm like, dry or wet? And they're like, oh, dry. I mean, wet. I'm like, oh, why are you telling me this? I don't care.
A dry cough is a lead up to pneumonia, bronchitis.
Well, the dry cough is a symptom of corona. I'm like, until you have a dry cough, don't come talking to me. because I don't want your cold, which I'm avoiding somehow so far. So, what you were saying about Corona? Hello, Bob?
You lose.
Hello?
Oh, you're still there?
Like, what was I saying?
I don't remember.
I was talking about the districts. Like, I highly doubt we're going to even really make it till Christmas before they shut it down, because Lancaster right now, its dials in the red.
I don't know.
His district.
What district is he?
Raymond Central.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
We are fine. The university is going to plug through the next 2
We're not
weeks.
fine, but the university's all like, screw that.
But there's 2 weeks left, and most people don't even show up to class
No,
anyways.
it's 3 weeks if you count the fine. It's 3 weeks until Thanksgiving.
2.5. We're done that Wednesday.
Okay, but still.
Tuesday, if you want to be specific.
What?
220.
Here's the proposition, because according to the news and whatnot, I think they're saying Brian right now only has like 3 or 4 beds left before they're full.
Really?
And it took me,
They're gonna have to
I'm
use
not even
university.
joking you, I felt literally stupid. When these hospitals are saying that they are completely stacked to the brim, and they got people sitting in the ICUs, I'm thinking this entire building is completely stuffed with people just full of COVID. No, it's just like one floor is completely filled. The rest of them are all regular patients, like the ones that just get out of surgery or they...
Oh, yeah,
they're
well,
out,
they
get
can't
treated.
allocate the
I
entire
literally didn't
hospital.
know it was like they just dedicated like 2 floors to this.
Yeah,
It took
I
me
know.
forever to figure that out. But one thing that I thought
They're
of as a
gonna use
proposition,
university.
is I remember this was becoming an issue either late April, beginning of May. Lancaster County Event Center came out and they were going, we got an issue where we're used to hosting events like every single weekend, and we haven't had anything for like 3 months.
Yeah.
So we need to find ways to get these bills paid, and they were talking about how they're getting all these donations and whatnot. Here's an option that I feel could be beneficial to both, but it would have to be executed not necessarily perfectly, but it would have to be well shifted. And that is for people that are suffering from like the more mild case of COVID but still need the hospitalization. We open up the field hospitals in the event center because we have 5 Morton buildings the size of 4 football fields.
Yeah.
That has plenty of room for distancing and
Oh,
spacing
yeah.
out. Now, of course, it would obviously take the money and this time to get it set up. But
Yeah.
if that would open up Bryan, that would open up St. Anne's, that would open up all the different areas and all these hospital beds. Omaha could ship them in here and whatnot. Anybody who is not necessarily needing to be on the ventilator, they're just under that thing of we need to be in the hospital for this.
Mm-hmm.
They can send them out to the event centers, and that can help that place get all of its financial stuff paid up because they're going to have to pay to get all that stuff done.
Yeah,
And that
the
would help out
government
the
can cover
event
that.
center immensely, but it would also obviously make that a huge hotspot. Like, don't go anywhere near that place.
I think
But it'd just be an option for it.
I think it's gonna get pretty bad up until January. I know you've been talking about this whole political landscape. I'm sure you want Trump to win, but I think once Biden's in there, I think this whole Corona thing, assuming that the vaccine comes out and then Biden and Harris are just like, oh, it's no good, even though it's perfectly fine. As long as that doesn't happen, I think this whole Corona thing could blow over, and like to turn the event center into a field hospital. Jesus, sounds like we're talking about China back in February. That just scares me to think about that. But I mean, I guess it's hard to fathom that we're at that point again.
We're in the 3rd wave, aren't we?
Yeah, we're in that. It's hard to fathom that we're at that point again, like we were this spring, where it's like, we're reaching critical mass here. Society's gonna break down. We're gonna run out of hospitals.
The thing that this is where, because when it comes to political standpoint, I actually would classify myself more as an independent. People keep asking like, who do you want to win? Are you a Biden? Are you Trump? Are you this? Are you Joe Jorgensen? Are you the weird guy off the side? Are you
Hey,
Kanye
Joe
West, or
Jorgensen.
Are you Deeds
She's
nuts?
good. She's ugly, but she's good.
Yes. Well, because my personal, I'm born and raised Republican. I'm still going to side with Trump because of the fact that the actual job that he's pretty much done has not really been that bad.
Yeah,
It's
other
just
than maybe
his
the border,
mouth
he's
and
done a
his
pretty good job.
attitude is what kills him.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it.
I have
We-
my own personal opinion, but
Right.
yeah, go ahead.
But I mean, other than the border, foreign policy, other than the fact that he's kind of withdrawn from, other than the environment and the border, which are two really big issues, it's not been that bad. I mean, yeah, we've had a lot of debt buildup, but most of that's from the corona so far. If corona had been handed to him, I honestly think he's going to be looked at as more of a better president than because he is now. But with corona, obviously he's going to be forgotten as the guy that killed almost 1 million people or whatever.
You want to know a weird thing about time? Just last year was a 35-day shutdown.
We're not there yet.
Well, no, 2 years ago.
Oh,
That's
and
been so.
oh wait. Oh, you're talking
just
about
like to show
oh,
like how much
the
time,
government shut down.
how much time has passed.
I forgot about that.
That freaking 35-day shutdown.
Well, he wanted that. Well, it was the border wall.
He wanted the border wall, and the Democrats were like, "No, you're not gonna get it."
Well, they ended up getting funded anyways, and now it's private.
Yeah.
Although I wonder what's going to happen now with him out of office. It's just going to be sitting there rotting. I'm sure the privately funded part will get built, but like the publicly funded stuff is just going to sit there and
I know
rot.
it's a joke.
Sadly, I want a political segment in this so badly because of the fact that that's all we've been doing in government, and because it's an election year, it's so much more interesting.
Oh, but it's been
And how many
heated too.
states are under fire right now for things that they've been hiding for Biden's side and Trump's side. It's just a mess. One thing that here's one thing, because it kind of actually relates to the COVID topic. One of the questions during the debate, and I think it was the second one, was what are your plans, in other words, to help with the COVID crisis or healthcare when it comes down to it? And when they had Trump start it, typical him, he's going to go, Biden did horrible. He did absolutely nothing. He's a horrible person. He did everything in the book about what Biden does is wrong. He's where it was. And then she tried to ask again, like, well, then what's your plan? He's like, we're going to have the best healthcare plan. We're going to do all this stuff to it. Just never really explained anything.
Mm-hmm.
But then they come back to Biden, and Biden's over here going, well, we need to do this. We're going to help with this. He had a very specific list of what he's doing.
Yep.
And it was honestly a very, very solid topic. But I pulled a red flag on one thing. Biden had just been just literally got off 4 years ago, helping Obama build this entire program for 8 years, having an entire program, having all this stuff done, even with 47 years in politics. He's done all this stuff. He's been working on it. So, in reality, yeah, bud, you better have a plan because you've been doing this for God knows how many years. If you walked up there and didn't really have a plan or forgot your plan, whatever the case may be, that's unacceptable.
Yeah.
Trump was technically given 4 years to completely rip a program that took almost a decade to build and then replace it with something up to that point. So my argument against that is that they gave him a question that's technically one-sided because one guy already had something that's pre-built for him. He just picks up where the other person left off. And then the other one's supposed to just, do you get the idea?
Yeah, and Trump, I mean, if it would have been up to Trump, yeah, Trump was he was stuck in a spot where he was stuck between a rock and a hard place on the bill. He wanted to expand it, but at the same time he didn't want to expand it. Like, a part of him wanted to expand it more because he obviously, even though people don't see it in him, he obviously does care. He cares about, especially people his age. He cares about them. And he cares actually quite a bit about minorities and mental health because his own son has a mental disability. And he's done lots of programs with minorities. I swear he's only racist towards Hispanics. I swear. And then he's sexist. Otherwise,
more because then what was it this year when you had those white supremacists who were like protesting on the Capitol? He said, "Very fine." No, Charlottesville. Very fine.
That was 4 years ago.
Very fine people on both sides. And then said it again when you had that white supremacist group on Capitol Hill saying, let these people be heard. They're angry. Let them be heard. And then during the Black Lives Matter movement, he said these people are thugs and was downgrade.
And
I think
that's another one that I love to talk about is the movements of Black Lives Matter and the white supremacists. both of them are they're the ideology behind the white supremacists. That's not all right. They want all the power on that side. And in my personal opinion, this has nothing to do with just whatever. My personal opinion on the Black Lives Matter movement, yes, they need to get their equal rights, but they're also segregating themselves. They keep bringing up these arguments of we need to have this, 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 and this. In other words, they're trying to get back more than get even. They're trying to get more than what let's see if I can organize this a little bit better. I'm with all the saying that all the big one that I heard when they're what's the name of the show? It's a new dedication to what's going on in 2020. They're having people come together. What's the issues? What's they're talking about? And one lady, African American lady, brought up that saying, "Black people cannot be racist. That's impossible." And there's another guy that brought it up saying, "Yeah, you can be racist. That's not a thing that just all of a sudden because
race
you're
is a
one
social
color you
construct.
can't be this."
I agree. It doesn't matter what your race is. Any race can become racist because I know Vietnamese people who are very, very prejudiced against French people because of colonization. Same thing with everyone else. It's not one-sided because race is a social construct.
And it's interesting. I've seen it's not just white people going against black people. I've seen Arabics that come to my place and butcher sheep. I remember one day, I don't remember what prompted him to say this, but he said, "Oh, those lazy N-words." And I'm like, whoa, all right, wasn't expecting that. He's like, "Yeah, they're all lazy. They're pieces of junk." I'm like, okay. But I do remember asking one of the guys one time, "Yeah, I'm going to vote for Ted Cruz." And I'm like, I am fascinated by you right now. Because, I was back in 2016 and I was like, "Oh, let's go Trump." And this guy says vote Ted Cruz. And I'm like, who are you?
But he's not an election guy. What the heck are you doing?
But, it was the fun... Well, no, I was back in 2016 during the primaries.
Yeah, I think when is he talking about before the primaries and all that stuff?
Oh, this was during the primaries, but yeah.
Oh, it was?
And yeah, it was the funniest thing when the guy said those lazy N-words. I'm like, but you look pretty black yourself, though. I mean, if you're saying you're white, I'm invisible.
So that's the other one we keep doing. Everybody keeps segregating themselves. What's this? A white man shot this guy and a black man shot this. We gotta stop. A man shot another person.
Yeah.
A woman. We gotta keep. There's gotta be a point
the media
to stop
portrays
this whole
minorities
ideology
is
we're naming people by the color. It's that's the other issue. It's not just this guy's bad and this guy's bad. It's all of them. We're all doing it wrong.
Yeah, the way the media portrays it, they always out minority groups.
The media is so if you want to point a finger, if we want to wrap everything up here for this segment,
it's the media.
It's always been the media. It always comes back because the way they paint Trump, the way they paint Biden, the way they paint Harris, the way they paint everybody. Mm-hmm. When in reality, if you actually listen to these politicians talk, they care about America. Now, yes, they also care about their own personal agendas, and the media will point out Trump's personal agenda, but maybe not Harris's or Biden's. And so it's you need to see both sides. And I think somebody pointed out, I saw it in a meme, but it wasn't really a meme. They're like, when this is all over, when Biden becomes president, it's all going to be forgotten. But Trump being president brought all these issues to light. And that's a good thing.
He did it, but he did it in a really bad manner.
Right, but it needed to be done that way. Honestly,
it needed to be done, but the way he brought it up.
This is something. Sorry, Kyle. Go ahead.
Oh, it's fine. The way he brought it up, is what made people angry because he did exactly who was president during MLK.
Kennedy before they were both
Kennedy
shot.
Kennedy and Johnson.
And then LBJ.
It was more of Johnson where the president.
That man walked around with his dick in the White House.
The fact that Johnson.
That's a real thing.
Yeah, that's what.
He would walk around and talk about how big his dick is, and then he'd throw it out on a table in front of secretaries.
Oh my god.
Johnson?
Yes, Lyndon B. Johnson did these things. He'd like walk into the restrooms, the men's restroom, and be like, "Look at my freaking schlong." It's like, what the hell? There's like whole recordings of him just talking about it. That man was infatuated with his own genitalia.
But yeah, Trump would just remain silent during all this stuff, which angered people because he refused to acknowledge stuff.
Yeah.
Which is what made people angry. So he brought all these issues to light, but he did it in a manner that wasn't the healthiest.
And now I'm afraid that with Biden and Harris, once to get the power, they're just going to forget about it.
Well, what I'm more afraid of is the transition of power.
Listen, the United States has had peaceful transition power for 200 years, 160 years.
We'll see what happens.
Trump is going to probably try to mobilize. Trump can't do anything.
Not New York stockbroker to another politician.
Yeah, we'll see what he
The
says.
U.S. military can't operate on U.S. soil anyways, so
National Guard can, though.
he's not going to mobilize the national. The D.C. National Guard's going to look at him like, what?
There was
So he got like 12. You got like 12 votes to 20,000
And
in
my
DC.
friend-
Yeah, the D.C. National Guard's going to look at him like, what? You want us to do what? Yeah, no, that ain't happening.
Our friend in my friend's Discord, they sent this tweet saying law enforcement will, if need be, they will do a forceful eviction of the president from the White House. And somebody retweeted, "Man, I want to see the live footage of this."
It's gonna be. I think he will leave though. I think once it's been recounted and the courts have been like, this is the results.
Yeah.
Trump. I think he'll be like, all right. I don't think he'll concede, but he will leave the White House.
Yeah.
Truth be told, he doesn't like it at the White House anyways.
No,
if,
he doesn't.
If this whole
He had to
thing
get a
goes
new
back
bed.
to where Biden and Harris do end up winning this, it'll be more of a, he won't necessarily fight to leave, but he'll just be like, F you all, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he'll kind of just give up.
Do you think he'll run again
No.
the following year?
The
No.
man's old as hell. He's gonna go play golf till he dies.
Hmm.
He's gonna go open
Well,
some new
he's going to have Secret Service.
Yeah.
Yeah, because presidents get they're
From
protected
what I-
until death.
actually, what's the next topic? Isn't the next topic like what's with the channels?
The comments, yes.
Oh shoot! Yeah.
We've been going for a while. Let's get to the comments.